which I believe I've been a little silent for a few days, so Mr. Jagdeo believes that the Guyana belongs to him. We have in this country an interloper by the name of Jagdeo, who has, without being elected as the leader of the PPP, has been bullying and usurping the leadership of that party, and now purports to speak for them. I believe it is important that I address some national issues which this gentleman has been, he and his cohort here, the sheriff, they have been distorting in the media. So I think I need to bring some clarity on some matters. The first has to do with the border controversy with Venezuela. Now, all of you know, you've seen all of the publications we've put out. You've lived through a period of heightened tension in some cases, where Venezuelan gunboats have expelled vessels from off of our shores, where naval vessels have actually gone into the rivers of Guyana and threatened our people, threatened the miners, threatened the residents of those areas. And now, of course, Mr. Maduro, the president of Venezuela, the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, is now picking up this tune that says the 1899 Accord is not valid. In effect, what he's saying is that that accord was achieved on the basis of bullyism. That the British bullied the Venezuelans, and therefore the entire 1899 arbitral award is null and void. That's the sense, in essence, what the Venezuelans are saying. But I don't know how many of you would have read, and I think I have copies of the 1899 arbitral award. I have some copies here, which I will leave with the conference, so that you can understand the whole process of how we arrive at where we are. And that in an arbitration, sometimes you have to give up. Guyana gave up in that arbitration of 1899. Guyana gave up land. It gave up a part of Anpoco to the Venezuelans as part of the settlement. But they're not talking now about, all right, if we want to go back to the 1899 award, give me back the land first and then we start talking after that. No, they're holding on to that. But they're claiming now that they want more. They believe that all of Essequibo belongs to Venezuela, which they used to call it Zona en Reclamación. They believe that it belongs to them. They taught their children that. So when we have a firm, clear position, when we have our nation standing behind the government, when we have songs like Not One Caress, Not a Blade of Grass, to have somebody like Jagdeo coming to say, now, give the people a peace. What's wrong with him? What is wrong with him? Is he a sane person? What's wrong with him? In some countries, that's treasonable behavior. Treasonable behavior. But I want you all to understand the psyche, the mentality of the person and the party which he represents. Over the last 23 years, they have actually given away Guyana. Given away Guyana to the foreigners. Given away Guyana to their friends and families. And during the course of this week, in fact, at the last parliament, at the budget debate, I told you all about the way they stole the Red House. And the barefaced enough to now come and say that no, we're not giving it back. The barefaced enough to say that. During this week, I will release something else to you, to the Guyanese public, where Jagdeo again, during his administration, arbitrarily gave a piece of land in Georgetown to his friend Ed Ahmad. And it was never recorded in the records of the Lands and Surveys Commission, but held in a lease in Nissil under Mr. Brassington. So we're going to let all of that be known, that this man who's now parading around as a paragon of virtue, the kind of person he was, all he wanted was give away Guyana, give away the Venezuela a peace, give his friends a peace, give somebody else the New River. That is what we're faced with. And as a nation, we have to understand that, and we have to stand firm in the face of this kind of assault on our national patrimony. The next issue, of course, has to do with an article which you would have seen in the Guyana Times today, where Jagdeo is saying that the Army having its 50th anniversary parade, a wonderful parade yesterday, that I had the opportunity of standing next to the Excellency the President and watch those soldiers march proudly. Jagdeo is coming out today to say these are all AP and UAFC activists that we injected into the Army. We believe that our sons and daughters who have of their own free will and accord decided to put their lives on the line for their country, he is now calling them activists, AP and UAFC activists. This is the mind of a deranged person. This is the mind of the person that we have to deal with. And we have to understand that there is no greater service that a man could give to his country than to lay his life on the line for the defense of his country. Isn't that so? I had the honor of doing so, and I believe Jagdeo wanted to join the army, but he was rejected. That is why he's so angry about being in the GDF. He's so angry with the army. That is why they sought to marginalize it during the time of the PPP. What we are finding now is an army that is without all of the resources necessary to defend this country. Under Jagdeo and the PPP, they have made our defense, the defense of this country, weaker than it ought to be. Given the resources which we have, they have weakened the resolve and the capacity of our army to defend and define territorial integrity in this country. Define aggression and defend our territorial integrity. So we have to understand what it is that we're dealing with. When Mr. Jagdeo was pontificating on the television about this and about that, understand the background, understand the history, understand the facts of what is taking place. He has no moral rectitude. He has no right to be making these statements. He has no patriotic values.